one or two inside 50s and all of a sudden just knocking on.
All right, so we're here with Jesse Green from the Mount Gravatt Vultures. Thanks for taking time to have a chat with us, Jesse.
No, that's all right, mate. No
Now, it is, of course, Indigenous round, so we wanted to have a chat, talk a little bit about your background and why Indigenous round is, of course, important to you.
Yep.
So why don't we start with a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
So I'm a Brizzy boy, born and raised, born at Marta Hill. Grew up on the south side of town, so over at Runcorn, 4113, as they refer to it, back in high school days. But grew up over there, very multicultural area. Went to Runcorn High. That's when I started to play AFL here at the Vultures. So in under 14s was my very first time ever seeing AFL and playing it. I came from rugby league background. And I remember we were the Brisbane or South East Queensland champs that year, so it was a good start.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you've been with the Vultures for quite some time then.
Yeah.
But what did you sort of get up to as a kid in Martha Hill?
Get up to here. at
Yeah,
Mount Gravatt.
in Brisbane as a kid growing up. Like, what was the sort of weekend stuff that you did? Obviously, a bit of sport.
Yeah. So obviously, my family of five, so fairly decent sized family
Yeah.
at the time. But 3 brothers, and 2 sisters, but very sporty family. We, have Australian and touch football reps
Yeah.
for Australia and in touch and volleyball in my family. So yeah, very athletic and just like to stay on the move. So obviously, just test our hand at anything. But a mate one time just asked me to come down for under 14s AFL and kind of just followed on from there. Yeah, so no, it was good.
Has things sort of changed around here in the time that you've been at the Vultures? Because, I mean, if you walked in the door when you're, 14 years old,
Yeah.
it's a fair stretch now.
Yeah, well, obviously the scenery's changed a bit, obviously with all the new change rooms, but it's still the same kind of culture. It's always been a good community club. When I've been here, when I came, my family, my mum and that were all the only ones that come down to support really because they really didn't watch AFL or anything.
Yeah.
So mum would come down and support, and they always made her feel at home. So down here, so that was a big thing for me that they welcome mum and to the games. Obviously dad a league man, so
Yeah.
he'd still come down. He still comes and watches on the weekend, but it took a little while to grow on him, I think.
Yeah.
So no, it was good. Yeah.
And do you keep an eye on the rugby from time to time as well, or?
Yeah, I still love to watch my rugby league. I'm a Manly man, so I guess that's like the Collingwood of the NRL.
Yeah.
You either love them or you hate them, but that's my dad's side, so it kind of just flowed on effect from there. So, and they're not going too bad this year, so I'm kind of happy. Except for when they lost up here against the Broncos, wasn't too happy that night.
Well, this must be not obviously your first Indigenous round, but can you walk us a little bit through what Indigenous round means to you?
I guess it's just showcasing the contribution a lot of the Indigenous culture plays with AFL. Obviously, a lot of the aspects of the game have been taken from the traditional game down in Gunditjmara country, which is part of my country down south, my great-grandfather's country down there, where they used to call it Mangrook, where they kick around the possum skin and stuff like that in an open field, open numbers, and it's just free-flowing, so that's pretty much sums up AFL to a T. So, it's just representing that and showcasing the contribution of where the game started, but also a lot of the Indigenous players that have come through. We only make up 2% of the Australian population, but we make up, I don't know what their statistic is now, but it's average of between 12 to 15% of the AFL list, so it's pretty consistent and prominent in the Indigenous culture. So
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And one thing I was thinking about as well is how the nature of AFL, just moving in any direction, kind of, there's a lot of, I guess, nods to that game that you're talking about, in the sense that it's free flowing. You turn whichever way that you feel like at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So and I guess that's why probably a lot of people say it just comes naturally to Indigenous blokes. So it comes naturally to everyone, but it's just a great game. So yeah.
And you're going all right at the moment, obviously?
Yeah, body's holding up, mate.
Yep.
In the 3-0s now, so people say it's downhill from here, but the missus is trying to get me to hang the boots up. But no, I won't say that. Love you, Bob. But she yeah, just trying to kick on as long as I can, I guess, and just hang on to it. Obviously, everyone says once you leave, you miss it. So
Yeah, you're a long time retired.
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to hang on as long as I can. So.
And what have you been doing with yourself outside of footy?
I work with kids from Cape York, so I work for the Cape York Leaders Program. So I am a student support officer for kids that board. I have up to 70 kids that I look after. 50 here in Brisbane at 7 boarding schools, the big boarding schools, and another 20 in Rockhampton that I fly up. I was in Rocky yesterday, so I got back last night. But yeah, it's very rewarding seeing these kids. A lot of them haven't left their communities, so we service communities as far as the Point, so Bamaga, the tip of Queensland, all the way down. You've got Arakoon, Cowan, Hopevale, so a lot of Indigenous communities where they don't have high schools. So it's great. These kids, you know, they got to catch 2 flights just to get to school, and then they stay for the whole 10 to 11 weeks and only get home on the school breaks. So, you know, it's a big thing for them, and just being a support for them is great. So, yeah, outside of that, I like to play my touch football. So, yeah. So I've always, it's kind of how I'm hanging on to my rugby league background is the old touch football.
Yeah.
So, but so that's it.
And is it a rewarding type of job?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, being in that role and looking after children who are a long way from home, teenagers in the secondary program. You know, you've got kids from 11 through to 17. Like I said, many of them leaving the community for the first time, speaking 5 community languages before learning English. You know, it can be very rewarding when those kids obviously go on to graduate and go on to tertiary studies, but also it comes with, you can have your lows as well. So, you know, kind of highs are high and the lows are very low. So, yeah, naturally when you're working with other people and all the time, sometimes you need a bit of a release, and football's my release in a way, to get away and just de-stress. So
I can certainly understand that. Now, despite being such a busy guy, you have managed to design this amazing Indigenous jersey a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, last year.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And you guys will be wearing this, obviously, this round.
Yeah, so because we've got an away game, this was going to be our away strip. That's why we've gone with the white as well. We're hoping AFLQ to get a home game on Indigenous round next year. But so we'll be wearing this weekend. But then we've got a home game the following week against Wilson Grange. We did the Indigenous round with them last year. So I thought it was just fitting that we do it with them again and maybe get a bit of a thing going each year. I felt the need, obviously being one of the older crew here at the Vultures, and that the club needed an Indigenous jersey, and I wanted to make it more specific to the club. I know a lot of jerseys they get, you know, they'll get an artist in who's not part of the club and it will just be related to that area, whereas the design I've gone for is actually related to the club and the club history. That's what I wanted to come through with the actual design of it. Yeah.
Well, it's a fantastic design, and hopefully when the guys wear it this weekend, they can come away with a win. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, hopefully. And we do need the 2 wins coming into the break, so it would be fantastic to go in with our heads up. But I know Broady's going to make us work down there, so they're on a bit of a roll. They've had a good win on the weekend, so I know they're going to test us, that's for sure.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Jesse. Always great to have a chat.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.